Good afternoon and welcome to Celtic Park here in Glasgow today. Live and exclusive coverage of the fourth round Tennant Scottish Cup tie, which has had the nation buzzing for weeks. Celtic, the cup holders, against their greatest rivals Rangers. For the first time in 20 years, the two sides are drawn together in final stages. And I'm quite delighted to say we've got the Republic of Ireland manager Jack Charlton joining us today. Jack, you're looking forward to the game?
Extremely, yeah. I've never seen a local derby like this one. I mean, it's famous in England. You know, the Rangers-Celtic match, they say it's a battle on its own, apart from the football, which I'll be interested to see. At the moment, it looks quite placid.
You've been enjoying the atmosphere, though, haven't you?
Oh, yeah, yeah. I've had a good chat with all the Celtic fans on the way in and the Rangers fans on the way in. I'm in a unique position. I've got Celtic players who play for the Republic here, but I'm also a Protestant, so I've got friends on both sides. You know, so I try to narrow. I'm great with both of them.
Okay, you know something about the fixture, Jack, but it has a particular magic, the Old Firm game. So we here would say, I hope you're going to go along with that in the course of the afternoon.
Oh yeah, well I'm looking forward to it. I mean, the ground is remarkably good now. It's dried out. It was raining like hell this morning. It's dried out completely. So I think this afternoon it'll be good football. There's a bit of wind, which makes it a bit interesting, but I always feel that when you've got a ground that's a bit on the soft side, which this will be, it favours the home side.
Sure, well, we're looking forward to it.
I'm not going to tip anybody, not in this one.
Okay, but we're looking forward to good football, obviously. Well, earlier, both squads arrived here at Celtic Park. Celtic were first to arrive, and they'd been using their usual overnight haunt down at Sea Mill in Ayrshire, and Rob McLean met them as they came off the bus this afternoon.
And a real desperation to win in this one, obviously.
Well, there's no danger. There's only going to be one winner, and that's going to be Celtic.
And the lads in good spirit?
Tremendous. We couldn't have been any better, and we're all looking forward to it. Just delighted the game's on, and hopefully everyone watches out for us.
So Celtic went inside the stadium. After that, the Rangers players and officials, they arrived. And as you can see, they wasted little time getting into the stadium. The Cup, of course, means so much to Rangers, of course, this season. Rangers have never won the Cup under Graham Souness. And of course, they lost in the final last season to Celtic at Hampden Park. There's Mo Johnson coming off the bus. Bit of a special welcome, of course, for him at Parkhead. And it went anyway. But as I say, they lost the Cup final to Celtic at Hampden last season. Joe Miller getting the goal there. So they dearly want to win today. Ali McCoy's coming off the bus, and we believe that he will play today, contrary to earlier reports that we'd heard. Ian Ferguson entering the stadium too. Gary Stevens coming off, Nigel Spackman, there's Ian Durant, and John Gregg bringing up the rear. Okay, well, we will take a break there. Coming up, the best of the action from yesterday's Cup matches, and today's game, Celtic against Rangers, live from Celtic Park. The players from both sides came out to get a feel of the pitch before they do it for real in what, just over 20 minutes from now. First out were four of the Rangers players: Mark Walters, Ali McCoy, Trevor Steven and Chris Woods. Hazel Irvine then spoke to Paul Elliott of Celtic.
A bit of clamouring for tickets. You must be pleased to be here, firstly.
Struggled. Big struggle to get that. Couldn't get them through season tickets. Don't know where they went to.
How's it going to go today?
Rangers victory, hopefully. No problem.
Why? Celtic have got a desperation to win this one, surely.
Doesn't matter, they're not good enough. That's it. They just don't have the class. I don't think, anyway.
So Rangers for the quarter-finals?
Rangers all the way. Quite confident today. Different class in every department of the team. Quite confident.
Important game for Celtic this afternoon. How's it going to go?
We'll score no bother. 2-1. 2-1 4-1 to Celtic. 4-1.
Have Celtic got a good enough team to beat Rangers?
Aye, definitely, definitely.
The
boys up there is proud today.
There's been a fair bit of competition for tickets. You must be happy to be here, apart from
Yeah, we got tickets. I know, yeah, we got tickets, yeah. Right, so.
What makes you think that Celtic can win here?
Why not? Because it's all left to fight for anyway, so it's 2 chances.
I'm from Cookstown, I'm from Northern Ireland, and I come over to see the Celts.
I'm from Dublin. It's important that Celtic win, isn't it?
Definitely. 3-1, 3-1.
Well, that was not Paul Elliott. I don't know what happened to him. We went live outside the stadium there to speak to some fans. Ron McLean speaking to them. Jackie, I'll come to you in a minute, but obviously big pressure, of course, on the two managers today. probably more so on Celtic manager Billy McNeill, and Hazel Irvine has just had a word with him.
Billy, it's been a tremendous build-up to this match. Are you relieved that the day's finally arrived?
In many, many ways, yes. As I say, I think we have prepared as positively as we can for it. The lads are in good form, they're in good fettle, and yes, we're ready for it.
The pitch is very heavy. It could play a major part in the outcome, I would think.
Well, I think we've got to compliment the ground staff here, because there was a spell yesterday when we were really worried about it, but they've worked almost through the night on it. And I think considering the weather, it's in remarkably good order. But it will be heavy, it'll be demanding. But I think the atmosphere of this game will take away any tiredness. I don't have any fears on those grounds.
You look very relaxed, are you?
Yes. It's a big occasion. I enjoy big occasions, and hopefully this will be the right one for us.
Thanks.
Billy McNeill enjoys the big occasion. There is no bigger occasion than this one. I think we can now go to Hazel, who has Paul Elliott with her now.
We've seen that the pitch is in rather heavy condition at the moment, Paul. Do you think that will work to your advantage, though?
Not particularly, because at the end of the day I think it could be maybe a disadvantage to both sides, because I think Celtic and Rangers are two very, very footballing sides with exceptional players on both sides, and it's a shame that the pitch is going to be this way. But at the end of the day, you know, it's the conditions are for the 22 players, and at the end of the day, you know, the best team's going to win, which hopefully will be Celtic.
We've discussed the spirit amongst the Celtic team at the moment. Are the guys ready for this match?
Yeah, we're ready. I mean, to be quite honest with you, you know, we're going to this game with a lot of confidence, because we had a very, very good game at Aberdeen last week, and I feel that certainly since I've actually been here, we've not played as some good football as we played as Aberdeen, so it's coming for a right time. We're due for a bit of a break in the luck, and obviously I think it's going to come today.
You've been considered the underdogs, Paul, but obviously I'm sure you would feel that counts for nothing.
To be quite honest with you, I mean, I've been here a short time in Scotland, but, you know, a Celtic-Rangers game, previous form counts for nothing, and I feel that today is going to be a game where it's going to be very open, it's going to be very entertaining. At the end of the day, only the best side I feel is going to win.
Jackie, you go along with that. Paul Elliott says obviously it's going to be very open, very entertaining, and the best side will win.
Well, I hope to see both goalkeepers have to make loads of saves and be involved in the action. I want to see what Packy's like for a start, and on good form. I hope it's a very open, wide game. I hope the crowd thoroughly enjoy it. I hope it doesn't... Cup ties tend to let you down sometimes, but I'm here as an impartial observer. So I don't, and both managers are my friends. I mean, Graham and Billy are both pals of mine. So I could never say I want the Rangers or the Celtic to win. So I'm purely down the middle. And I will give you my opinion of who was the best team at half-time and at full-time. And it'll be an honest opinion, because I don't follow Scottish football to the extent where I've already made prejudgments on it.
Sure. We're looking for honest opinion today, Jack. That's good. Okay.
You'll get that.
Well, since the draw was made, the clamour for tickets has been quite unparalleled. And we're going to discuss that in a second. It really has been quite incredible. Jackie was saying to me today, outside the stadium, there were so many people asking him if he had tickets on him as he arrived. We don't quite know how you'd have tickets, but anyway. Okay, well now, yesterday, the weather...
If you're right in amongst all the supporters, it's fabulous, and the atmosphere is building up tremendously.
And of course, we've had news of the teams already, which has been very interesting indeed. Both teams showing very interesting selections. The Celtic team in the first instance, up there now, there is one change that I think is quite significant. That is the introduction there of Joe Miller wearing number 11, replacing young Steve Coulton, who's been playing on the left side of midfield recently. That looks a very attacking decision made by Billy McNeill.
I think so. I think Billy's obviously looked at the game, and he knows it's such an important game for him, and the result's very important. So he said to himself, obviously he's going to go forward. He's not going to sit back by that team selection there looking for a breakaway or a goal and hanging on, Jock. It looks like he's going to go out and attack Rangers, and the inclusion of Joe Miller certainly supports that.
And of course, we're talking about the man who scored the winner in the cup final last year. Joe Miller scored that goal which won the cup for Celtic last year. Now, there was speculation that Ali McCoist would not play for Rangers, but that has been killed by that team selection. The Rangers team, just the one I think that Graham Souness would have wanted to select. That's a very familiar looking, powerful lineup. Richard Gough, of course, unable to play through injury. John Brown wearing number 11 there, but he will play in central defence alongside Terry Butcher. Now, Ali McCoy's playing. Is that a bit of a gamble, do you think, Andy?
Well, I think if Ali's been bothered by his pelvis, which we believe he has been, Jock, then these conditions will certainly not suit him. And if he's going to pull it again, it certainly could be in a heavy ground like this. But it was very important for Rangers and Graham Souness, I think, to pick that team again. It's a team that's playing very, very well and very, very confidently. And I think he'll be delighted that Ali passed himself fit this morning.
but still to some extent a gamble if he can last on this very heavy playing surface. It's been very difficult. When the players warmed up, you could see the pitch already beginning to cut up.
It actually looks from here, Jock, as if the pitch is in very good condition, but I think having been on it, you and I were on it earlier, and I think we both know it is a very, very heavy pitch, and I think after 15 or 20 minutes it will cut up and it will sap the players' strength. There's no doubt about that.
So the crowd this afternoon restricted to 53,000, so that still has guaranteed an enormous amount of noise from all around us here. So the two sets of supporters now waiting anxiously for the appearance of the two teams, and they'll be led out shortly by the referee, Mr. Brian McGinley from Balfron, who will be handling his 17th Old Firm game, but his first Scottish Cup match involving these two sides. So the Rangers fans there in numbers, they've been vociferous, as have the Celtic fans down below us here. And there's the look from behind the goal to the main Celtic Park stand. That's the tunnel from which we should see the players at any second. So the preparation's a very nervous time for these players, going away before matches like this, Andy. Is that difficult in the build-up with the tension?
No, I think actually players coming into this game, Jock, will enjoy getting away from home for a couple of days, especially the ones with kids. They like to get away into the peace and quiet of a hotel, and I think both managers very sensible in taking the lads away. Rangers for a night, Celtic for a couple of nights, to get them absolutely perfect. And at this particular moment in time, all the players will be wanting to do, Jock, is get on that piece of grass in front of us and get at it, because the preparations are almost over, as you say, and all they want now is come down that tunnel and get on with the business in hand.
Well, there's the Scottish management team, Andy Roxburgh and Craig Brown in the director's box, and it looks as though Craig Brown is handling a miniature television set there, so perhaps he's tuning in, hoping to see any replays, perhaps. So perhaps some difficulty with reception there. So there is the main stand again. That shot you saw a moment or two ago of the other covered enclosure here with the gantry hanging below that. That's where we are situated right now. And it looks as though there might be some activity coming from the tunnel area at any second. The ball boys leading out the teams in traditional fashion. Oh, the roar building up around the stadium. Here comes the referee, Brian McGinley. So the officials, Mr. Cathcart, or Dr. Cathcart on the left, Mr. Allison from Monfils on the right of the picture as Brian McGinley leads out both sides. Ryan Scott and Graham Smith, the two physios coming out there looking quite relaxed. So the players making for the centre of the field. And there's the welcome from both sets of supporters. There's the Rangers fans being saluted now by the players. And the Celtic fans too, in greater numbers, of course. It's their home match. Greeting the players. Well, that long wait in the dressing room is over for these players. They'll be happy to be out there, and they'll realise now the wind is gusting around the playing pitch. It will be very difficult early on, perhaps for the goalkeepers in particular. But these early stages will be vital, and Paul Elliott will have a vital role in the heart of that Celtic defence. Now reaching something like his peak as a Celtic player after a slow start caused by illness and injury, but a very powerful and influential player now in the Celtic defence. And last year, Darek Dobczek won a Polish Cup medal for Legia Warsaw, but he's sampling the Old Firm atmosphere in a cup tie for the first time. He did play in the league match at the New Year, but he's a very accomplished defender indeed. And another big occasion. Well, the Rangers striker Maurice Johnston, who always gets a hostile reception here at Celtic, where he played with such distinction before, has now scored 14 times this season. He'll be looking to add to that this afternoon. So the warm-up continuing as referee McGinley calls the captains forward. He's done that already. The toss of the coin has been handled. It'll be Celtic to start the match. Nigel Spackman there scored the winner in the league match at the New Year for Rangers, and he settled very quickly into the Rangers midfield. So referee McGinley satisfying himself that everything is in order, and they have to remove a couple of practice balls from the playing surface. for the moment the big crowd's been waiting for. The opening whistle from Brian McGinley, and Celtic get the match underway. So Celtic going through a very difficult time after the initial period. A lot of changes from their cup-winning side of last May. They've no Roy Aitken, Mick McCarthy, Mark McGee or Tommy Burns on the staff anymore. Anton Rogan also is not in the starting lineup. He's on the bench. Rangers retaining more of their squad for that final, but here's Ali McCoist. Back with Trevor Stephen, a newcomer to the Scottish Cup against Celtic. Good tackle made by Galloway. Here's Coyne. Grant busting from midfield. Through the middle of Jakinovsky. The covering player is John Brown. And that's a tidy piece of play by Brown. Celtic opening up with a three-man attack. Joe Miller on the right wing. Jakinovsky through the middle with Tommy Coyne to the left. Here's Jakinovsky. McStay playing it through the middle, race on. Miller and Monroe. And Stuart Monroe did extremely well. Miller is very quick indeed, but Monroe matched that run to play it back to Chris Woods. Top check. Played forward by Stevens, looking for McCoist. Rangers in their familiar 4-4-2 formation. McCoist and Johnston, the twin spearhead. Ferguson on the right flank of the midfield. Stephen and Spackman in the middle, and Mark Walters on the left. So tense, nervy opening minutes. First goal would have such a crucial impact in the proceedings. Chris Woods getting another touch of the ball. He's been involved now 2 or 3 times in the opening minutes. Top check, tangling there with McCoist. And Celtic at the throw. Clearance there by Gary Stevens. Another interesting aspect of the Celtic formation is that Mike Galloway started off on the left side of the three-man midfield. Grant on the right, McStay in the middle. So a lot of careful planning going into the tactics for both sides. Galloway going in late on Ali McCoist. And there will be trouble here for Galloway. He's going to be booked, I think, by referee McGinley. Well, let's see this one again. McCoy's trying to control the ball. In comes Galloway. He was very late indeed. And there's going to be trouble for the Celtic midfield player.
Yeah, I think Brian McGinley is stamping his authority jock in the game very early on, showing that he's not going to stand any nonsense. I think Galloway was a bit late here. Ali actually rides the tackle quite well. I don't think he's that badly hurt, but I think it definitely warranted a booking. And hopefully that'll be the last we'll see of it.
Well, a yellow card administered. Less than 5 minutes of the match gone. Ali McCoist is still on the ground, and of course McCoist was the major injury doubt for Rangers before the match. Well, he's a very, very powerful player, Ali McCoist, and he takes a lot of heavy treatment extremely well, but that certainly has tested his strength to the full. It's a Rangers free kick which Gary Stevens will take. Away by Dobchak. There's Brown to Stevens. Sidestepping Coyne. Galloway coming in quickly. Well, that certainly will have to have the effect of curbing Mike Galloway, because with the booking so early in the match, he'll have to be particularly careful when he's making any challenges. A vital part of his game is his combative impact. There's Brown's long clearance. That's all the way through to Pat Bonner. John Brown winning 11, but playing beside Terry Butcher in central defence. Gary Stevens in swiftly. Dobchak has lots of time. Using Paul Elliott, he'll use Pat Bonner in turn as Mark Walters and Maurice Johnston close in. Coyne and Stevens collide, and the decision goes against Gary Stevens. He clearly thought he'd been given the free kick. But Celtic have the chance to put pressure on Rangers again. Stay to White. Here's Galloway. Forced to turn back, using Chris Morris. Walters did well to close him down. There's Spackman running straight into Jakanowski. McStay is brought down. The two captains together. Butcher was the offender, bringing down Paul McStay. Oh, it's getting very tough and torrid out there. A desperate lunge there by Butcher at the back of the legs of Paul McStay. So Derek Dobchek has gone across to take this free kick. He's there with Chris Morris, the two fullbacks together. Scrambled wide there for Grant. That's well taken by Woods. A good piece of goalkeeping. Peter Grant certainly hits this in with lots of power. The shot from Dobchek coming off the wall. The clearance finding its way there to Peter Grant. And deflection there, but Woods did well. There's Walters. First real chance to test the right flank of the Celtic defence. McCoy's trying to help that on. Spinning off Derek White for the first corner kick of the match. And the signal for Terry Butcher to make his way to the near post area for Rangers. John Brown also hovering at the edge of the box. Taken by Stephen. There's Butcher. Now Johnston. Morris at full stretch. Jaganowski. Monroe returns it, only as far as Peter Grant. Brown to Stephen. Johnston is offside. Rangers flag was up for Morris Johnston, taking lots of verbal abuse from the Celtic fans in the main stand. So a very effective corner kick this, the near post, where Butcher helped it on. Johnston trying to play it back across the face of the goal, and Chris Morris did well.
It's been a very positive start, Joe, from both sides. They've both shown that they want to get forward in attack, and that's good to see.
Jakanowski penalised for barging into Butcher. Referee McGinley has certainly made his presence felt early on. Very experienced official. Should have been at the World Cup in Mexico. Had to withdraw. Butcher's free kick. Dobchek nodding it back calmly to Honor. And Celtic using Chris Morris to augment their midfield whenever they can. He's pushing right up on Mark Walters. There's Coyne. Brown playing it through the middle, where White returns it. Brown goes up again, there's Galloway. Good header that by McStay. Dobchek gets away from Ian Ferguson. Trevor Stephen. The linesman's flag on the far side is up. The referee hasn't yet spotted that. Here's Jakanowski. Trying to make space for the shot. And Brown turns it back. The referee has still not spotted the linesman. Well, now he has. He's waved his flag down. There's Ian Cathcart, the far side linesman. He stood for a very long time.
He did, Jock. He must have had his flag up for about 30 or 40 seconds here. I think it was for an earlier offside decision that Brian McGinley actually played on, but the linesman didn't see him and just stood there with his flag up.
Well, there would have been controversy there had that developed into anything important. Johnston tackled firmly by Galloway. There's Butcher. Johnson gets up so well in that position. Here's Ian Ferguson trying to take on Derek White. Cover provided by Dobchek. Dobchek, I don't know what language he was using, but certainly complaining to the linesman about the fact that the throw has gone to Rangers. 10 minutes of the first half gone, still no scoring, but lots of action. Both sides looking hungry for the fray, and that's another corner kick to Rangers. So some work for Pat Bonner, who's been in excellent form this season for Celtic. Butcher again is the major threat inside the 6-yard box. Variation here from Rangers. Stephen takes it back from Walters. The throw is given. Stephen, well tackled. Well, it certainly is tough. Chris Morris came across to help on the near side of the field. The Celtic left. Free kick quickly taken by Dubček. Well, really are fortunate this afternoon to find the overhead conditions so acceptable after the downpour all morning. The pitch standing up well. There's a barge by Ferguson into the back of Mike Galloway, right in front of referee McGinley. Free kick to Celtic. Jakinovski turning away from Stephen. Good effort from Jakinovski. That was deflected. It's a corner kick to Celtic. Well, Jakinovski does so well here, finding space at the edge of the box, and the shot being deflected wide of goal.
It's definitely one of his strong points, Jock, in round the box. Jakinovski's turning and getting the shot in. Rangers will have to be careful.
Joe Miller's corner, up goes Elliott, and the attentions there of Butcher were enough to make sure Elliott couldn't cause any damage. It's a goal kick to Rangers. Pretty even opening, Andy.
Yeah, very much so, Jock. No one team is dominating the other. Both have had good sparring, more or less sparring with each other at the moment. Both have had good attacks. Both defences are standing up very well, though, which is an interesting topic. You know, sometimes these defences in these old firm games can be prone to make mistakes, but both are standing up very well in the opening stages.
Trevor Stevens' header. Gary Stevens getting there despite the attentions of Miller, which were deemed illegal by referee McGinley. So a free kick it is to Rangers. Well, Joe Miller will be desperate to do something up front for Celtic this afternoon. Gary Stevens with the free kick, looking for Johnston. Stephen to McCoist. Peter Grant coming in. There's Galloway with the pass back. The Celtic already have altered their attacking formation. Coyne has gone to the right flank. Miller has crossed to the left. That's intended for Coyne. Neither he nor Munro can reach it. Tommy Coyne started explosively this season with a hat-trick at Tynecastle, but he's struggled a little since then. Only scored a further 3 times for Celtic. Derek White tidying up. Coyne heading it through there for Jakinovski. That's a good challenge by Stevens. Kept his head well. That's a good pass out of defence also to find Trevor Stephen. Galloway's header here, Spackman. On the far side is Walters. Munro's made a run, he's checked out of it now. And Morris timed that well. Standing a little off Walters when that move developed. Here's McCoist. Eased off the ball by Paul Elliott. Maurice Johnston cut off the pass back. Here's McCoist for Johnston, but he's offside, it won't count. Beautifully finished there by Maurice Johnston, but the flag was already up. But Paul Elliott got in the ankle there. Maurice Johnston cutting off the road back to goalkeeper Bonner caused the problem. Then when McCoist played it in, Johnston was offside.
Yeah, I just mentioned there 2 minutes ago about people making mistakes in defence, Jock, and there we've seen the first one from Paul Elliott, and could have been so costly. But as we say, a right decision. Maurice Johnston just offside there.
Good play from Galloway. Dubček. Butcher reacting to a call from Chris Woods. Bit of pushing by McCoist on Elliott. Free kick quickly taken. That's a loose one out of the fence though by Dubček. Johnston going to the left. There's Spackman with the return pass, which carries too much weight. A high ball won by Butcher, as you would expect, in the heart of that Rangers defence. Great pass from McStay. Here's Peter Grant. Coyne sets off on a run. Woods is committed. Well, Chris Woods did well. And thumping that into the crowd to allow him some time to get back to his goal. The referee taking no exception to that. Well, Chris Woods not hitherto known for his head work. Brown had to be careful. He's found Monroe with the clearance. Paul Elliott going in swiftly on McCoist. Another hard landing for Ally McCoist.
I'll tell you what, that's a typical goalkeeper coming out there, wasn't it? Got out at the edge of his box, Jock, and suddenly there's a rush of blood to Chris Woods' head, and he's thinking, what am I doing here? But full credit to him, he gave himself enough time for trying to knock a couple of Celtic supporters' heads off there.
And a disaster there for Chris Morris with that pass back. Hanging his head there, apologising to his teammates, giving away a very soft corner kick. Butcher again being very carefully policed inside the 6-yard box. Tommy Coyne back helping. Butcher with a marker in front of him and the one behind. Stephen again, that's towards Butcher, this time Elliott wins it. Well, such a commanding figure there, Terry Butcher. Presents a major problem.
He certainly does. We could be here for a while, Jock.
Stephen again, this time Coyne gets the ball out of the area. Jakinowski linking well with Morris. Couldn't control it on the run now. Here's Spackman. Good play from Spackman. Butcher is back in his usual position. Down goes McCoist, and the free kick goes to Rangers. Paul Elliott coming in late.
I think Mark Walters might have liked that to have been allowed to go on, Jock. It was right through there.
Rafi McGinley, I think, still at the early stage of the match, reluctant to use the advantage rule too much. Make sure the match remains well under control. That's a good tackle by Morris. There's Walters. Careless one from Johnston. Grant. Monroe intercepted the pass in for Jakinowski. Here's Johnston. The flag was up. It wouldn't have counted. Johnston poaching there. McCoy's doing well with the aerial challenge. The flag was already up.
Yeah, they're starting to get it together up front, actually, Ally McCoist and Mo Johnston. Just in the last couple of exchanges, they've been getting through there. And but again, referee was and linesman correct again, Mo Johnston just fractionally offside.
Brown did well. There's Stephen. Dubček. Coyne to Galloway. Was well judged by Stevens. Clever Stephen getting back for Rangers. Still not much creative midfield play from either side. The game being played at the moment from back to front, missing out any talented men in the middle of the field like Clever Stephen and Paul McStay. Another offside decision against Tommy Coyne.
I think both teams are anxious, Jock, not to give anything away early on. I think it wouldn't surprise me if both teams are quite happy at 0-0 for quite some time, and it looks that way. They're very, very anxious not to give anything away and be out the game early on.
Brown's free kick. Free kick goes to Celtic, there's Graham Souness in the director's box, and David Murray, the chairman of the club, behind him. Walter Smith also in the picture. Billy McNeil in the dugout beside Neil Mochan for Celtic. Clearly not entirely happy with things at the stage. Richard's header goes straight to Coyne. Couldn't cash in on that. Ian Ferguson tidies up. There's Galloway. Brown covering well. Strong play by Stevens. He was fouled by Galloway. Free kick taken quickly. White going in firmly behind Johnston. Spackman releases Johnston. He's onside this time. Johnston going through. Elliott goes across. There's trouble off the ball, I can tell you, as Johnston sets it up for Spackman. Clearance by Dubček, but there was a clash off the ball. Peter Grant and Ali McCoist clashed off the ball as that run was being made. The referee seems to be indicating it was an accidental collision. Ali McCoist was very angry about it, and Peter Grant has taken some facial damage.
I must admit, I didn't see it. I think actually both men were so intent looking at the ball that they've just gone flying straight into each other.
But McCoist is going to be spoken to by the referee. Terry Butcher going across to have a word with referee McGinley. Well, McCoist, I think, is in trouble principally for complaining to the referee. And he certainly exchanged some angry words with Peter Grant. Now let's see how that all came to pass. Well, McCoist, we're going to show you that if we can in a second, as the match is restarted with a drop ball. Well, we'll try and show you that later on. Monroe with a pass back. Woods has to be quick as Jakinovski closes in. And the offside flag is up again against Johnston and McCoist. Well, it certainly is getting very tough indeed out there.
It's certainly warming up, Jock, that's for sure.
Well, McCoist certainly thought he was taken out of the play illegally by Grant, because he turned as Grant was on the floor holding that facial injury. McCoist was exchanging some angry words with him while the play was still going on. So a real moment of controversy. Still no scoring if you just tuned in. Celtic 0, Rangers 0, but a torrid Scottish Cup tie. And a clear foul there by Walters. So there's a free kick to Celtic. Morris with the free kick. Headed away by Spackman, returned by Elliott. The Rose header, there's Joe Miller. Well, a major disappointment there for Miller. He apologises to his teammates waiting inside the box. Lofted in there by Elliott. It was Monroe's header out, and here came Joe Miller. That sliced well wide.
That was hit and miss that there, Jock, I think. Joe Miller will be disappointed he didn't actually get the ball across goal, rather than just wildly slashing it past the post there.
Ferguson left to go for that, unchallenged by Galloway, but that falls straight to Stevens. Ferguson holding off Galloway. Trevor Stephen forces it forward. There's just no space at all in the middle of the field for any of these midfield players to put their foot in the ball and play good passes forward. There's Johnston, challenged by White. White making certain that runs behind for a Celtic goal kick. Well, it would be good to see the skills of Paul McStay and Trevor Stephen flourish. The game lacking that at the moment. It's all hectic and frantic. And the really creative players in midfield being stifled at the moment. Brown gets there ahead of Jakinowski. Derek White calling for Pat Bonner to make himself available for the pass back. Good understanding there, honed over many matches together. Derek White, very young defender, but has amassed enormous experience already. There's Brown. Johnston was offside. Slow coming back, Maurice Johnston. So the free kick to be taken by Derek White. Butcher wins it well. Galloway trying to set up Dubček. Well, two very committed players in direct opposition gallows here, Mike Galloway and Ian Ferguson. There's Derek White coming forward. Galloway, that's a good pass. Trying to release Dubček. Goal kick is given by referee McGinley. Disappointment there for Dubček. Well, let's see if this was indeed a goal kick. Well, it looked to be a clear corner kick. Well, an error there by referee McGinley. Hasn't made too many so far in the match, I must say. He's had a good match, but without the benefit of that replay, he got that wrong. There's Elliott. Headed away by Monroe. There's Paul McStay getting a touch. And Paul McStay's had too few of these as far as Celtic will be concerned.
I think you're right, Jock, what you said earlier. I think that the six players in midfield particularly are cancelling each other out at the moment. They're both right on top of their jobs. And I think, certainly in Celtic's part, they need Paul McStay to get the ball and make them play a bit. There's no doubt about that.
Stevens. An awkward one for Johnston. That's a fine ball inside, but Dubček reacts quickly enough. So a new experience for these two Polish internationals. A Scottish Cup match against Rangers. First time in almost exactly 20 years these sides have met in the Cup, out with the semi-final or final. Headed by Brown. Johnston plays it back to Butcher. McCoist is offside. The referee hasn't yet spotted that. He has now. Celtic always going for the quick free kick whenever they can. And the offside flag at the other end stops Coyne and Jakinowski. Well, history certainly is with Celtic for this Scottish Cup match. The last time Rangers beat Celtic in the Cup at Celtic Park was in the season 1904-05.
And didn't you commentate in that one as well, Jock?
It seems like it sometimes, yeah. So the flash here from this long ball from John Brown. Well, two players clearly going for the ball, Ian Ferguson and Dubček. Both have recovered. Stay bringing the ball out of that tight situation. And Coyne is onside this time. Here's a chance for Celtic. Miller waits in the middle, so does Jakinowski. Well, Tommy Coyne hanging his head there, very concerned. Indeed, I've no doubt about the poor quality of that cross. It's a great opportunity this for Celtic. They beat the offside trap with Coyne breaking clear, Jakinowski making for the middle. Miller was already there. Plenty of targets in the box.
Yeah, we've had so few of these opportunities, Jock, that Celtic will be very disappointed that Tommy Coyne has not kept the ball in play there.
Here's McCoist trying to force his way beyond White. Chris Morris gets there just ahead of Johnston. The danger's not over. Elliott does well. Stevens reacts to the signal there from Johnston. Clever Stephen. And that was very close indeed. Pat Bonner was scrambling there. Clever Stephen almost gets the opener for Rangers. Good pass this from Stevens. Then Johnston looked up, measured the pass inside. Trevor Stephen with a lobbed effort is about a foot wide.
That was a very good move from Rangers, Jock, very controlled. But Trevor Stephen does ever so well there. He's got great balance, and I think Pat Bonner was thought that might have been going in with his reaction. Pat, that was very close.
Half an hour of the first half gone. No scoring here at Celtic Park. But just about everything else except the goal. That's great play by Coyne. And the interception by Brown, so important as Jakinovski went in behind him. Delightful piece of control there by Tommy Coyne. Difficult to do at the best of times, but in the hurly-burly of an Old Firm Cup tie, special piece of skill. There's Butcher. Celtic trying to get forward again. Stay to Morris, here's McStay again. Getting away from Walters. Stuart Monroe challenging. Free kick is given. Joe Miller's on the ground, and the referee will take some action, I think, against Mark Walters. And he is going to book Walters for stamping. That's the decision of the referee, Brian McGinley. Let's have a close look at this. There was Walters. And in the midst of all that, the referee saw a foot coming down from Mark Walters. And the result is the second booking of the match. Mark Walters joining Mike Galloway in the referee's book. The Celtic's free kick will be taken by Chris Morris. Well, Walters certainly didn't appear to be 10 yards away. Back now with White. Woods coming for that. Elliott was well out of reach. Coyne standing on Woods' right foot, forcing him to play it out with his left or to throw the ball. And a free kick given against Coyne for elbowing the keeper. Well, a clear ploy by Celtic here. Tommy Coyne standing on Chris Woods' right flank to make him throw it, and there was the foul just as he nudged Woods. And White hustled into that hurried clearance by McCoist. Gary Stevens. They run up for the long throw. Butcher's waiting. Goal kick is given. Butcher clearly thought it came off Paul Elliott. The referee did check with his linesman there, and they were both in accord that it was a Celtic goal kick. Well, we're at the stage of the match when the early pace should have slackened a little as the team settled down, but still not to the extent that the midfields are in operation. Taken out of it late by Ferguson. Free kick to Celtic. Well, McStay was always going to win this high ball. Ferguson out of reach, just barging into the Celtic skipper. Noise at the moment coming from the Celtic supporters. Kopchek's free kick, looking for Paul Elliott. Did well to get his head to that. Butcher was unhappy about the challenge. It came to no harm as far as Rangers were concerned, though. Look at the way Elliott attacks the ball here, forcing his way in there on Butcher. Good tackle by Grant. There's Miller trying to send Coyne clear on the right, but there wasn't enough space for that pass.
I think it is a bit scrappy at the moment, Jock. I think we do need someone like a Paul McStay or a Trevor Stephen to stamp their authority on this game and start to make their team play. I think the first one that does that is going to be very important for this game.
Stephen did well. Johnston in a tangle there with Chris Morris. Spackman intervenes. Morris didn't appreciate his involvement. The referee right to the heart of the action, though, to give this free kick, and he's going to take some action against Nigel Spackman, I think. Well, Johnston and Morris were having a fair old battle there, but it was the involvement here of Nigel Spackman which could have sparked things off. So Spackman gets a word of warning from referee McGinley. No yellow card on that occasion. There's Butcher. That's well won by Elliott, a commanding header. Spackman looking for Walters. Well, the entire main stand populated by Celtic supporters. No ticket allocation to Rangers for the main stand. Headed away by Butcher. There's Walters. McStay to Grant. Butcher totally committed, so was Brown, but it's Celtic a break. Paul McStay beaten to the ball there by Gary Stevens. Now that was top-class defending by Stevens. He realised his central defenders were in trouble, came right across behind them and provided the necessary cover.
What an advantage to have such pace at the back as that, Jock, and as you say, that was Gary Stevens at his very best there.
There's Trakinovsky getting away from Monroe. Butcher goes across. Here's Joe Miller. Well, Spackman perhaps lucky he didn't make contact there. Wide for Peter Grant. A long deep cross and Woods at full stretch. Mike Galloway coming in. He's so dangerous in these cross balls. Well, it's well won here by Celtic. The ball forced wide to Peter Grant. A long looping swerving cross and great handling there by Woods.
It's noticeable as well, Jock, that when the sides have put a couple of passes together, either side, they have got in there around the box and they've been at their most dangerous.
There's Gary Stevens. Galloway's header picked up this time by Trevor Stephen. Dobchek's challenge. Ian Ferguson. Stephen. Galloway wins it from Stevens, but he's penalised for a spot of handball. Well, he did appear to be very unlucky on that occasion. Ian Ferguson trying to get forward. Dobchek with the throw. A reminder, the score here at Celtic Park, Celtic 0, Rangers 0, 7 minutes remaining in a torrid first half. And an offside flag up, again halting a Celtic attack. A vast number of offside decisions this afternoon, with the defences all pushing towards the halfway line as quickly as they can. Stevens with the free kick. There's Elliott. Gary Stevens now with the throw. Here's McCoist. Cleared by Morris. Runs through to Grant. Here's Brown. Monroe through the middle. Walters is on the ground. Well, there's no hold up here. The referee insisting the play continues. Walters in an offside position, but certainly not seeking to gain an advantage. He'll lay on the ground. He's still there. Not at all sure what happened to him, but Mark Walters remains on the ground, clearly in pain, as the rain starts to fall heavily here at Celtic Park. The ball thumped out of play by Chris Woods to allow a chance for Mark Walters to get some attention. Bill Bozeman's on. Damage just above the knee. Well, it may be that Walters stumbled badly or turned and twisted, because there didn't appear to be any other player involved.
No, it looks like they actually could be treating his hamstring there, Jock. Whether he's actually pulled it and stretching for the ball as it came across the goal there. But we never like to see a player down as long as that. You know, they never stay down that long unless there's something wrong with them. And if it is a hamstring, then, I mean, one wonders how long they'll stay there.
So Walters getting back on his feet, doesn't look at all comfortable. McNeil on the phone. Back to the director's box, I reckon. And Mark Walters going off as Tommy Craig from the high vantage point has a discussion with Billy McNeil. No doubt to adjust tactics and perhaps to make some alterations in view of the fact that Mark Walters is being forced to leave the field. Andy Gray identifying that possibly as a hamstring injury from which he certainly couldn't be expected to recover. Chris Vinicombe waits to come on. Wow, what an occasion for a young player. Started the season with Exeter City, and well, it's very different now as he is on to replace Walters for Rangers.
That's a very big blow for Rangers, Jock. I think a man with Walters' talent who can win the game on his own with a flash of magic, to lose him this early in the game is a big blow.
Galloway going into Gary Stevens there as the Rangers fullback tried to allow the ball to run for a throw. Checks header. Free kick to Rangers for the attentions of Dubček on Maurice Johnston. 3 minutes remaining in the first half, still no scoring. Gary Stevens with the free kick. Headed on there by Butcher. Stooping to nod that into the danger area. Butcher's well upfield now. It's Stevens and Brown. They'll have to tidy this up as Coyne goes racing in. Well, John Brown has looked immensely comfortable once again in the heart of that Rangers defence. Dubček's header. Here's Vinicombe. He's away from Morris. Over carrying the ball slightly, allowing Elliott to turn it back.
He'll be happy to get his first touch over with now, Jock. He can settle down now.
Brown's header collected by Joe Miller. Here's Coyne. That's off Monroe for a Celtic corner kick. 2 minutes remaining in the first half. And an opportunity again for Paul Elliott and Derek White to put pressure on Rangers. Poor corner kick. Cleared easily there by Stuart Monroe. That was Derek Dubček who went all the way across to take it too. Celtic coming forward again. Jankowski trying to find McStay. He has to be quick in the recovery. Wallace looking for Jankowski. Peter Grant. Fine effort that from Peter Grant. He had the briefest glimpse of the ball. John Brown's clearance not entirely decisive. In came Grant. The ball rising all the way.
Yeah, it's a very good strike from Peter Grant. John Brown just fails to clear his lines here, and it drops lovely for him just to come on to. It's a very, very good strike, but just slightly too high. It's been a nice time for a goal for Celtic, that, John, a minute from half-time.
So the first half drawing to a close with Celtic on the attack again. Here's Tommy Coyne. Sideways to Jankowski. Here's Joe Miller. There's a great chance for Celtic. 1-0 to Celtic. Tommy Coyne and Joe Miller both claim the goal. Tommy Coyne set it up. Look at the pass here from Jankowski. Brilliantly wide there to Joe Miller. He has the shot. It gets away from Chris Woods. And it's Tommy Coyne who claims the goal.
touch that's a great little move, and once again when a team has passed the ball about, Jock, they've got through. Joe Miller's hit a great shot. It's actually a very good save from Chris Wood, but full marks to Tommy Coyne. He didn't give it up and he saw the thing through.
7th goal of the season for Tommy Coyne. It could prove to be by far the most crucial. There's the scoreline now. Celtic leading by 1-0. That goal coming in the final minute of this incredible first half. Joy there for Billy McNeil. Clearly anxious to hang on to this lead until half-time. To let him have the chance to settle his players down again. There's Paul Elliott's clearance. Rangers trying to hit back swiftly. Teams frequently at their most vulnerable just after they've scored. But referee Brian McGinley keeping a close eye on things. There have been some stoppages. He's checking his watch now. What a dramatic end to the first half. And the whole main stand has come alive across from us as the Celtic supporters celebrate. Here's Stuart Monroe for Rangers. Looking for Johnston. It's headed away by Dobchek. Chris Morris miskicked that altogether. Grant turns it to safety. The referee still checking his watch. The half-time whistle will go at any second. He's played 90 seconds extra already in the first half. Touched inside by Ali McCoy. There goes the half-time whistle. Sheer joy and jubilation for the Celtic supporters. And Tommy Coyne, who's given Celtic that crucial first-half lead. He leaves a very happy player indeed. What a second half we have in prospect. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Celtic Park. Celtic lead Rangers by 1-0 at the moment. Tommy Coyne scoring just before half-time. Jack Charlton, what are your impressions of the first half?
Well, the game's been very tight. From the on my notes, I wrote down very quickly that both teams play very square across the back, condense the midfield area and pushing the game virtually into a third of the field. And it's very difficult for any of the midfield players to settle on the ball and find room enough to make passes for people to go through. If they do, because they're pushing up and playing offside, people are running offside. It makes for a terrible spectacle to watch the game, but technically it's very, very good.
Technically it's good, but it's so congested in midfield.
Well, that's right, but they don't give them time to look up. It's only on the odd occasion when Celtic have, like the goal, when they've actually had a break and forced Rangers back, that they got the goal. I mean, they had two early on in the game, very beginning, where they actually, where the Rangers defence got to the ball first and played him back to the goalkeeper. But since then, really, I thought Rangers looked the more organised at the back. It really looked really settled. The goal came as a complete surprise.
Rangers actually had the ball in the net during the first half. Mo Johnson put it there, but there was an offside decision, Jack.
Well, I don't know about the offside division, but when Mo Johnson hits the ball, I mean, it was a bad mistake here. But when Mo Johnson actually hits the ball, the linesman had already put his flag up for offside, and Packy had heard the whistle. As you look at Packy there, he's already just stood there and let it go. I mean, he made no attempt to play the ball at all. Sure.
They came very close to going one up, did Rangers, through Trevor Stephen. Now, this was a moment when all the Celtic supporters held their breath, wasn't it?
It was a good chance. It's knocked about, and I thought Celtic weren't closing people down as quick as he should here. Trevor Stephen's little lob, it reminded me of the goal Packy gave against us in the European Championships, a Dutch goal. That's the only time I've seen Packy able to chase a ball across. That one actually hit the post and went in, but it was...
he moved quickly, did Big Bat Bonner.
He did.
I mean,
whether he would have got to this one is a debatable one, because the ball had gone away from him. If that had gone inside the post, I don't think he would have got it.
Do you think anybody will put their foot in the ball in midfield, Jack, and try and create something?
They would love to, but there's no room there. When you push up and play offside, I mean, this is why the game in England changed so much. I want you to remember Liverpool and Everton playing in a cup final, in the League Cup final, and it was like this. There's so little goal mouth incident.
But somebody so desperate not to lose the ball,
but people changed then. Now Rangers will probably start knocking the ball up from the back a lot earlier to the front people and in behind the Celtic defence, because they've got to turn the Celtic defence now and they've got to chase them a little bit to get a goal back. If Celtic are solid and play the offside rule and keep hustling the midfield the way they're doing, Rangers will find it difficult. But they will get through, because Mo Johnson, like I wrote down, Mo Johnson is hungry. He's skating with the offside.
Okay, Jack.
And he's just unfortunate a couple of times.
We're going to take a break there. Join us in one more second for more analysis. To Celtic Park, Celtic leading Rangers by 1-0. Jackie, let's have a look at the goal now. The goal that separates the two sides. Tommy Coyne scored it.
Well, it was a break. When it's crossed across here, it's exactly the sort of thing you should do with the ball from that angle. Played across the open goal mouth. The goalkeeper got a hand to it, but it went on and it was slid into the back of the net. Had he gone for a near post or even a shot, they wouldn't have scored Celtic. But it was due to a break from midfield and which pushed the Rangers defence back. The overlap here, look, when he plays the ball, it's across the face of the goals, and Chris got a hand to it. Maybe, you know.
Yeah. What are you hoping for in the second half?
Well, I think Rangers have got to push on a little bit now. They've got to get a goal back, and I think they'll probably knock the ball in behind a little bit more. Now they've lost Walters, it's going to be a bit more difficult for them, because Walters is one of those players who can find room on the left-hand side or anywhere, which is where you'll find room on the flanks this half, who can knock the ball in for people like Mo Johnson to get after. Without him, we've got to see.
OK, Jack, so much lies ahead now. The teams are coming out, and now let's rejoin commentator Jock Brown.
Thank you, Jim. Yes, the Rangers team emerging. Not a lot of noise to greet them, apart from some whistles from the Celtic fans. The Rangers fans seem to be stunned by that goal just before half-time. And coming in the top of losing Mark Walters, it really was a bad 5-minute spell for Rangers.
Yes, it was, Jock. I mean, I think that 5-minute spell there just before half-time, when actually Celtic did have their best spell in the game, and the Rangers losing Mark Walters, then the goal. I mean, they'll be pretty down at the moment. But I tell you what, it makes for a great second half, doesn't it?
It will be fascinating to see how the second half takes shape. Tommy Coyne has come in for some criticism from Celtic supporters following his £500,000 transfer. But that goal he scored just on half-time may resurrect a career at Celtic Park for him. The fans certainly will have appreciated him fully after that, and he'll be anxious to develop from there in the second half. So it's Rangers to start the second half with the rain off at the moment. Don't think it's too far away, but it's dry overhead at the moment, and Rangers will have to start with a bang, I reckon, in the second half. They're a goal behind. Chris Vinicum is the replacement for Mark Walters. Here's Tommy Coyne. And now McStay to Dubček. Celtic, same time, will be very anxious to settle on this lead in the opening 10 to 15 minutes of the second half. I'm sure they'll play it very tight at that period to make sure they don't give Rangers any encouragement. There's Johnston not able to develop anything on the far side, so Celtic's throw. Turned away by Brown. Well, this sort of start to the second half will certainly be suiting Celtic. Mike Galloway closing in on Ian Ferguson to give the throw to Rangers. Trevor Stevens' header. Here's McCoist. Stephen trying to send Spackman clear on the right. Paul Elliott was across to cover that run. Didn't have to take any action though with the ball out of play. Billy McNeil in the dugout. Bobby Lennox beside him, one of the Lisbon Lions, who's the reserve team coach here at Celtic Park and clearly enjoying the occasion. Check, challenged hard by Johnston. Long ball for Butcher to chase. Ensuring he didn't have to play it. Giving the throw to Gary Stevens. Out again for a Celtic throw. Celtic ensuring a very tight start to the second half. It's off the head of Stevens for a Celtic corner kick. And a burst of applause from the Celtic supporters. Chris Wood's organising his defence now. Ali McCoist is going to one post, Trevor Stevens is on the other. Paul Elliott waiting to make a run to the far corner of the box where Terry Butcher is marking him. Came off the head of Butcher. Thumped away by Stevens, only as far as Morris. Grant to McStay, trying to get away from Vinicum. Galloway trying to force his way past McCoist. He's won a free kick for obstruction.
It's been a good little start to the second half for Celtic, Jock. They've immediately get right back in Rangers territory, and it's exactly what they would have wanted to do.
And referee Brian McGinley at this stage indicating to Peter Grant and Joe Miller that he is checking time. Here's Miller's free kick. Too high for Elliott, with Butcher challenging him. Galloway's header. Here's Rangers now in the break with Ian Ferguson, sending McCoy's clear in the inside left channel. It's Joe Miller who's back defending. And the clearance won by Butcher. Here's Vinnie Combe. Back it goes from Miller to Bonner. Well, that break from Ali McCoy is perhaps the first sign that he's not fully 100% fit.
Maybe he didn't look his usual sharp self. You would normally expect Ali to get away in a situation like that, and perhaps the ground may be having an effect on that pelvis injury.
Butcher's header. There's Mike Galloway. Up check to Galloway. Well, a rather hopeful ball forward by Terry Butcher. Celtic really have taken a good grip at the start of the second half. And this is a match which has attracted intense interest worldwide. Pictures going to more than 60 countries. And the game being watched live in Southern Ontario and North New York State, among other places. Rangers and Celtic supporters clubs there tuned in. I'm sure feeling the tension even from that distance. There's Paul Elliott with a header. Vinicum brings it down. Careless one by Vinicum. Here's Jakinovski. Galloway free on the left. Coyne calls for the ball in the middle. Well, Galloway's not at all pleased with himself. Promising opening there for a second. It was Vinicum who made the mistake, allowing Jakinovski to set up Galloway on the left. Now Coyne was calling for the ball in the middle, and a wasted effort. Spackman into space for Stephen, a fine pass. McCoy waits in the middle, Johnson arriving late. Stephen still coming inside, and Dobchek making certain he didn't concede a penalty kick. It was Derek White who came across. This is a good move from Rangers. Trevor Stephen taking on Dobchek, forcing his way past the fullback. Had to be careful to avoid a trip, and White came in. Trevor Stephen with the corner kick. John Brown couldn't make it. Galloway's clearance. Here's Ferguson. Interception by Morris. Over on the far side on the Celtic left. That's unusual for him. Trevor Stephen carrying the ball out. He was under severe pressure there from Tommy Coyne. And Stephen's in trouble with that little outburst. He clearly felt he was being fouled by Coyne. And I have to confess I had some sympathy for him with that. Brian McGinley, though, making clear once again who's in charge. I don't think there are any players on the field left any doubt about that. Foul committed there by Coyne.
It looks to me as if Rangers have decided to push Trevor Stephen wide on the right there, Jock. They've brought Ian Ferguson in alongside the other lad in midfield, and they've pushed him wide on the right.
The Spackman's header. Snapshot from Stephen. Helped to his feet, in fact, by Elliott. There's Spackman, joined in the centre of midfield now by Ian Ferguson. Elliott and Butcher together. There was Trevor Stephen with a long-range effort, trundling wide. Brown's header. Here's McCoist. Spackman to Monroe. Well, Paul Elliott's had a commanding match in the heart of that Celtic defence. Widdicombe and Morris together. The result is a throw to Celtic. Brown resisting that challenge from Grant. Here's Gary Stevens. Coyne getting back. Good play from Stevens. Headed away by White to Miller. Monroe's tackle. Morris did well. There's Miller with Spackman getting back. Great play by Spackman. And Joe Miller showing that he's not prepared to be pushed around. So we'll hold up now. Peter Grant has sustained some damage. Nigel Spackman showing total commitment. And exchanging some words there with Chris Widdicombe.
It was a bit like David and Goliath there with Joe Miller tackling, wasn't it?
Superb tackle there by Spackman. He then thought he might get some peace, but Miller would have none of that. So Peter Grant is back on his feet. The throw to Rangers. Elliott. Butcher's header. Here's Joe Miller. And Morris. Coyne is offside. Jakinowski rolling the ball a few yards further back. Butcher indicates where he thinks it should be taken from. The referee's quite happy about that. Dovcek's clearance, the ball swirling in the wind. Here's Morris looking for Grant inside. It falls for Ferguson. Joe Miller to Morris. Butcher's clearance. There's McCoist. Stephen returns it. That's for Johnston. This is promising now for Rangers. Gary Stevens couldn't make contact. Here's McCoist. Back with Spackman. McCoist again. Ian Ferguson beaten to the ball by McStay. Here's John Brown. Tripped by McStay. And the Celtic skipper will be in trouble for that. Referee McGinley calling over Paul McStay. Well, certainly not a player known for dirty play. There was Gary Stevens with a great chance. He couldn't make contact. And then McCoy's trying to find a way through again the second time. But the best chance undoubtedly fell to Stevens. There was Brown charging forward and the trip by McStay.
That's a definite chance for Rangers there. Gary Stevens got himself into a tremendous position, Jock, and would be very disappointed he didn't make contact with that ball.
A set piece for Rangers to exploit. John Brown has lots of dig with his left foot. Ian Ferguson with the right. The wall scarcely appears to be 10 yards back. Well, it's becoming unusual now almost to see a ball be forced a full 10 yards. There's John Brown. Reflection brings the ball wide for Widdicombe. There's Joe Miller. Johnston. Cleared again by McStay. Celtic under intense pressure. And Gary Stevens out of luck there. His first touch not good enough to retain possession. Coyne being carefully watched by Stuart Monroe. Good tidy piece of defending again by Monroe. White's header. A foul committed by Coyne. Free kick taken now by Stevens. Up goes Butcher. Headed away by White. Here's Miller, waiting for Morris to make his run. Finnegan has stayed with Morris. Well, Gary Stevens bringing a few hearts to the mouths in the Rangers camp. McCoist is offside. So the scoreline, if you just tuned in, Celtic 1, Rangers 0. There's John McGregor, the Ranger reserve team coach, in the dugout. Walter Smith and Graham Souness in the director's box. Back with Dubček. Tackle was made by Stevens. Good play by White. Foul by Johnston. Appears to be a free kick. Dubček took a knock in the process. Here's Peter Grant. Simply and neatly and effectively played to Morris. Dubček. Then he comes clearance. There's Spackman, and McCoist is peeled off to the left now, attacking Paul Elliott. Oh, another sign perhaps that McCoist is not 100% fit.
Well, I think it's getting to the stage now where I think Rangers quite possibly might be thinking of making a change up. They don't look at the moment as if they're going to get a goal. Certainly not in the recent few minutes, and I think they've got the ideal man in David Odds, obviously, sitting on the bench, a man who scored many crucial goals.
And there's trouble here for Peter Grant. He's being booked for time wasting. That's a clear indication of referee McGinley. Grant, of course, helping the Celtic team to settle things down and keep the time ticking on. The ball is much out of the danger area as possible, but he's been booked for his trouble that time. So 1 hour of the match gone. Celtic leading by Tommy Coyne's goal. Wallace back to Pat Bonner. In control again from Stevens, allowing Galloway to link with Coyne. Butcher running into trouble. Here's Coyne now, the chance for Celtic, trying to release that for Mike Galloway, and Brown took him out of the play late. The play rages on. The referee saw nothing amiss there. Tommy Coyne is still getting to his feet, rather unsteady as Joe Miller gets back to help again in defence. Clutching his left shoulder there, Tommy Coyne. So the rain and wind gusting behind Rangers at the moment. That makes that kick out from Bonner a very good one indeed. So the throw will be taken by Dubček. Killer there by Trevor Stephen. Sekanovsky with Butcher. The Celtic throw. Well, Celtic now appear to be thinking in terms of a second goal, which may guarantee them a place in the quarterfinals. Stevens helps it along to Woods. Well, Rangers have certainly made alterations in their formation, particularly with Stephen and Ferguson in midfield. They're also switching McCoist and Johnston around in front. No sign that they found the key to unlock the Celtic defence as yet. Here's Nigel Spackman trying again though. Now Johnston. Vinny Comfrey on the left. Tackled by Grant. Stay helped it on. Now a chance is on for Celtic on the break. Joe Miller, he has Coyne and Jakinovsky up. Chris Morris is also going in support. Miller tells him to wait. Well, indication there that Miller's content to retain possession and waste some time rather than set up an attack, and that really is surprising with so long to go.
It is. The game is now taking the type of shape that Celtic will enjoy, Jock, and the fact that Rangers have got to push forward and take a bit more chances, and that'll suit Celtic, who'll look to catch him on the break as they did then, but I think a bit more positive is needed from Joe Miller.
Coyne's attempt at a back healer goes wrong, and Rangers have the throw. Paul Borsma returns the ball, and some words of instruction to Gary Stevens. Bit of pushing there by Derek White on Ali McCoy. It's a free kick to Rangers. Trevor Stephen over the ball. Move to the flank to find more room, I think, for Rangers. Off Elliott's head. Here's Joe Miller again doing another good job. Bringing the ball from defence. Going inside Vinicum. Held off by Spackman, and he's brought down by Paul McStay. Peter Grant exchanging angry words with Spackman and with McCoist. But it's Paul McStay who's going to be in trouble for this tackle on Nigel Spackman.
That's the second one Paul's had in about the last 5 or 6 minutes. He got warned about 5 or 6 minutes ago, and I don't think the referee had any option really but to caution him there. Not a bad tackle, Jock, but I think as he'd just been warned, that was the natural reaction.
So the entire Celtic midfield has now been cautioned. Galloway, Grant and McStay. Stuart Munro with a free kick. Came off Jakinowski again, he wasn't 10 yards back, and here's Celtic on the break with Coyne. And off the ball, another incident takes place. Peter Grant has gone down inside the Celtic half. Back on his feet now, Peter Grant, but he went down in mysterious circumstances once again. He certainly was his own worst enemy a few moments ago when he exchanged some very angry words with some Rangers players. So Celtic have a free kick on the far side. The referee needing eyes at the back of his head now. There's Grant. Miller. Well tackled by Munro. Well, Munro a shade optimistic there, I think. Jakinowski. Well tackled by Spackman. Well, Jakinowski got a lucky break off Morris. Ferguson did well. Coyne regains possession for Celtic. They're playing as though their lives depended upon it, Celtic. Here's Mike Galloway. Engineered himself into that shooting position very well indeed. And he'll be very disappointed with this finish. Coyne did well, winning it from Stephen. Then Galloway coming inside. He had Terry Butcher to face, went past Butcher on his strong side and hooked the shot over the top.
Yeah, I'd be disappointed with that. He actually does the hard thing very well and actually get himself into the position for the shot by just turning inside Terry Butcher. And I think his shot he'd have wished his shot was better than that. He's got to hit the target from there, Mike Galloway.
So a throw on the far side to Rangers. Rangers Scottish Cup record, very poor one through the 80s. They won the cup in 1981. That's the last time they won it. A long chase here for Jakinowski. Chris Woods well out of his area. Then he come forward, and it's nudged back there for Derek White to ease it back to Bonner. Graham Souness has had such difficulties since he came here to Ibrox with the Scottish Cup. He's done so well in other tournaments, but in the Scottish Cup he's watched his side go out to Hamilton Accies and Dunfermline Athletic at early stages before losing in the cup final last May to Celtic. So food for thought for Graham Souness there in the director's box beside Walter Smith. Galloway's clearance. Nudged on there by Coyne. Clearance by Butcher. Brown letting the ball run for the throw. Coyne trying to prevent that. Galloway's pass back. Thoroughly appreciated by Celtic supporters. Here's Joe Miller. Back now with Morris. Butcher wouldn't be denied there, challenging Jakanowski. So a reminder for anyone tuning in, Celtic leading by 1-0. Past the midway point in the second half. The scorer was Tommy Coyne in 44 minutes. Conditions overhead once again thoroughly miserable. The rain falls steadily. Here's Spackman. He's trying to assert himself more and more now in the second half. A quiet first period for Rangers. John Brown forced to play it back to Woods. Check showing good awareness there, turning that back to his goalkeeper. Andy Gray very happy he's in the gantry here under cover rather than out there in the field, I think.
You better believe it, Jock. I also see, looking over at the bench, I see Davy Dodge stripping off, so we could be seeing a change any minute now from Rangers.
So Dodge getting his instructions conveyed on the walkie-talkie from the director's box. 20 minutes remaining, 1-0 to Celtic. Peter Grant. Going forward by Butcher, there's McCoy, but Celtic always having cover. White plays it back to Bonner. Kick out from Pat Bonner, gives a throw to Rangers, but no real sign that Rangers have found a way through.
Not yet. I was just about to say, Jock, Celtic's back four have coped very, very well with everything Rangers have thrown at them today. They don't look troubled and have looked very rarely troubled throughout the whole of the game, and I feel therefore they've got to change something.
Well, they have to defend as Jakanowski breaks. He was onside when that pass was released, taking on Terry Butcher. Cross is too long. Miller tries to retrieve it. Good tackle there by Vinicombe. Excellent piece of play by the youngster. Checks header. Johnston plays it wide for Vinicombe. Good tackle there by Elliott. And again it's Derek White who comes out of defence. Brown goes across the bows of Jakanowski. Butcher to Monroe. Morris and Elliott go for the same ball. They exchange some angry words.
That just shows you how keen they both are, I think, there, Jock.
Stuart Monroe with a throw, but Rangers now want to make their substitution. So Davy Dodds waiting to come on. It looks as though the player going off is Chris Vinicombe, who's limping away there. Well, Vinicombe clearly has taken a knock. He's going off prematurely. He'll be disappointed about that. And on comes a very experienced figure of Davy Dodds. Dundee United, Neuchâtel Xamax and Aberdeen, his previous clubs. Headed away by Grant, goes straight to Butcher. There's McCoyce with a snapshot. Well, the rain coming down torrentially now. And McCoy's got this glimpse of goal. Didn't waste any time, but Warner was in the right position. There's Derek White, and no sign that the ball is sticking on the surface. The rain coming down in torrents, and well, there isn't a great deal of time left in the match, but had this come down much earlier, it would have cast some doubt over the possibility of the match finishing. A very brave referee, however, to do that while one side is in the lead, as Celtic are at the moment. Gary Stevens forcing Woods to be quick. Coyne making life difficult for Woods. Up goes McStay. Stuart Monroe. McCoy's putting pressure here on Elliott. Well, it's well judged by Elliott. He's had a really good match for Celtic.
I've been very impressed with him today. I played with Paul at Aston Villa many years ago before he went to Italy, and his Italy escapade seems to have done him a lot of good. He's improved and matured into a very good centre-half. He's had a tremendous game job.
Headed down by Stevens. Still no sign of activity on the Celtic bench. We're into a stage in the match where stamina will be at a premium. Billy McNeil will be thinking about that, checking his watch, see how long there is to go. Hold up now, there's a Celtic player down with cramp. Coyne going up there with Gary Stevens, and when he came down, he had an attack of cramp. Well, he certainly will not want to leave the field early, I'm sure about that, having scored the only goal of the match so far after a lean spell up front for Celtic. Billy McNeil showing faith with him though, keeping him in the side through the bad spell. But I wonder how much more he can play this afternoon. 50 minutes left, 1-0 to Celtic. Celtic once again have the ball in the Rangers half. There's McStay. He's won the throw. Now he has possession. Touch on there from Coyne, trying to release Jakinowski. Wins it. Coyne is onside. Ball skidding away from him there. Coyne looks as though he may be on his last legs. And indeed a change is about to be made by Celtic. They're reacting to that bout of cramp which was suffered by Tommy Coyne. The goal scorer leaves the field to tremendous applause. He certainly has given everything for Celtic this afternoon. He's covered miles. He's replaced by Andy Walker. But that will involve no change in the Celtic pattern. Straight replacement. And there's Walker's first contribution. It appeared to be a foul. And indeed the free kick's been given.
I think that'll be no bad thing for Celtic, bringing Andy Walker in here now, Jock. A fresh pair of legs up front against some very tired defenders, I'm sure, of Rangers. And Andy Walker is very capable of getting away from him and getting a goal.
Gary Stevens with the free kick. Tough check, the marker for McCoist. Here's John Brown up with the attack. Stevens almost flying past that wall. Galloway trying to find Walker. The last time Rangers lost a match to a Scottish club was back in November when they lost at Aberdeen. Remarkable run since then. Here's Jakinowski. Back with McStay. And Morris. Grant tackled by Butcher. And Grant reacting angrily. Now Grant could be in serious trouble for that because he'd already been booked. Terry Butcher exchanging a few pleasantries there with Grant. Here was the tackle from the back by Butcher. Now Peter Grant really could have been in a lot of bother for this little move there as he stabbed his boots into the back of Butcher, having already been booked. And I think the Rangers players are having a word with him about that. There's the tackle by Butcher, a thumping tackle at that. But it was the reaction of Grant that set up an angry exchange, and Butcher now too has been spoken to by the referee for his verbal exchange with the Celtic player.
I think a bit of frustration from Peter Grant getting whacked by Big Terry there. It's not pleasant.
Jakinowski playing it back to Morris. Here's Joe Miller. Now McStay managed that time to put his foot in the ball. Put it into an area where he hoped Grant could win possession. And Rowe did well to keep the ball in play. Careless one out of the defence by Spackman. Here's McStay linking with Grant. Too far ahead of Stephen. Here's Galloway driving forward himself. Can't get past Brown. Handball there by Miller. The referee taking a lenient view of that handball in the circumstances, I think reasonably so. But no, the referee is going to take some action here, and it's against a Rangers player. Now, it looks as though Stuart Monroe's in trouble for a bit of speech play, or is it Terry Butcher? Well, it's not at all clear at the moment who is in trouble here. Referee McGinley certainly taking a stern view, and it looks as though it may well be Terry Butcher. Now, Butcher ran at the referee after Miller's handball as though he were protesting that no action was being taken against Miller, and the outcome there is a booking for the Rangers skipper. Dobchek's header. Spackman beaten by Grant. Here's Miller running straight into Monroe. Grant playing out wide for Walker. Grant is on the ground again. And another player goes down. Galloway taken out of the play by Stephen as Walker retains possession. Well, it's an intensely difficult game for referee McGinley. There's no question about that. The commitment on the part of both sides total. The outcome is a goal kick. The Rangers, 9 minutes of the match remaining, and off the ball seems to be the main problem. When players are making runs, others appear to be blocking them, and that's what upset Mike Galloway there a moment ago.
Yes, it's been very difficult for McGinley to referee this one. He has needed eyes in the back of his head, Jock. I think half the time he's not known when it's been the conditions that's causing it and when it's been deliberate.
Good play by Elliott again. Grant forcing it forward. Spackman into space for Gary Stevens. Galloway gets to him quickly. Dobchek will get there ahead of Trevor Stephen. So sure on that left foot, and tackled firmly by Stevens. Brown's header, up goes Paul McStay. Brown has possession again, he likes to come forward. Ian Ferguson going in somewhat recklessly, didn't make any contact. So the clock ticking away now. It's getting more and more difficult for Rangers. They'll have to throw everything forward now in these closing 8 minutes if they're to save this tie. Paul McStay thumping the ball forward. Brown is underneath it. That just made it across the Butcher. Now Galloway. Well, McCoy read that. He was just a fraction too late setting off. Well, Grimson is still looking remarkably calm in that director's box. the line. McCoist comes across, he's beaten to it by Morris, and there's Paul Elliott. Elliott and White have played so well for Celtic, bringing the ball out of trouble. Butcher having to hurry. Joe Miller is there, and Butcher using his physique to ensure Miller couldn't get to the ball.
I think they really have to throw caution to the wind now, Jock, Rangers, in that, if they want to get back in the game. Celtic are coping with them quite comfortably at the moment. It wouldn't surprise me to see Terry Butcher run up front the next 5 or 6 minutes and have a go up there just to try something different.
Elliott again going to the ball in very positive fashion. Well judged by Galloway. What appears to be an immense amount of confidence through the Celtic ranks at the moment. Andy Walker back checking. There's Ian Ferguson. And Stephen forward looking for McCoist. Derek White trying to pass back, and Dodds was inches away from that. Well, the Celtic supporters must have been very anxious about this. McCoist trying to turn inside, the pass back just ahead of Dodds.
More comfortable at the look there, I think, Jock.
Sliding in on Stephen. Well, that tactical alteration to the Celtic midfield certainly appears to have paid off this afternoon with Galloway on the left. There's the clock showing just 5 minutes left. Celtic leading by Tommy Coyne's goal, but here come Rangers. Coyne's pass is intended for Johnston. Here's Johnston again. Back it goes to Monroe. That's for Dodds. Good early ball inside. Dubček judges it well. Joe Miller with Dodds. Here's Stuart Monroe. Cross it goes to Stevens. Reckless charge out there by Morris. He now has possession though. Here's Jakinovski. Butcher will get there first. And Jakinovski going in late and high. He'll be in trouble all right. Chris Woods is irate, racing off his line. Jakinovski being waved away by Ian Ferguson. Here's why. Butcher was there first. That's a bad tackle. High and late by Jakinovski. That could do a lot of damage to Terry Butcher. It certainly has earned Jakinovski a booking.
That's a very bad tackle. That's probably the worst tackle in the game.
Well, Butcher is back in his feet with that high tackle over the ball with a sort of tackle which could cause serious trouble for the player. Here comes Celtic. Walker trying to link with Miller. He's done well to keep the ball in play. Butcher going in front on Jakinovski. Here's McCoist. He has Johnston in support through the middle. And Elliott again, standing his ground, keeping his eye on the ball, and earning his reward. Here's McStay. Jakinovski. He has Galloway free on the left. Bringing a lot of players forward. There goes Galloway. Good save by Woods. He had to be quick as Jakinovski and Walker closed in. Jakinovski set it up for Galloway. Switching to his right foot, hit that with lots of power, and it was beaten down by Woods.
Yeah, that's a much better strike by Mike Galloway. Again, cut inside on his favourite right foot there and unleashed a tremendous shot. Chris Woods did quite well there to stop that.
Whistling you hear coming from the Celtic supporters. They're certainly early with that, there's no doubt about that. There's quite a bit of time to go, some time for the ball to come back. 3.5 minutes remaining, plus any time to be added on. And referee McGinley's made it clear he's been very careful about that. Here's Spackman. He's there on the corner kick for Rangers. Peter Grant thinks that it should have been a goal kick. Pat Bonner looking anxious on his goal line as he organises his men around him. Trevor Stephen once again. Butcher on the near post. Brown at the far post. There's Dodds. Up goes White. Going to be fouled by Johnston. Yes, Maurice Johnston going in heavily on White. The result of the free kick to Celtic. There was the foul. White was getting there first, all right. Maurice Johnson then in that untidy tangle. Well judged by Butcher. Here's Joe Miller. That's an offside decision, no question about that. Walker and Jakinowski. Phil Borsma on his feet with instructions for the players. Looks very anxious indeed. John McGregor too, reorganising Rangers. Wants the ball played forward, not surprisingly. Grant touching it on. There's Miller. Now McStay. Jakinowski calls for the ball on the left. Grant gets it on the right. That's for Walker and Jakinowski coming in. A magnificent save by Woods. Well, perhaps the best flowing attack of the match. Brilliant play from Celtic. Grant's early pass. Jakinowski coming in, and Woods goes down brilliantly to save.
That was a superb ball from Peter Grant there, and Jakinowski will be disappointed that he hasn't put the game beyond Rangers' reach now.
Well, that certainly would have tied it up, there's no question about it. And I wonder if Rangers can cash in on that life. Here's Joe Miller. Finding it very difficult to get away from Stuart Monroe. Late challenge by Morris and Ferguson, but Rangers have possession. The referee allows the advantage. There's Spackman. The 90 minutes are over. We're into injury time as Rangers search desperately for an equaliser. Here's Monroe. That's blocked by Grant. A throw to Rangers. Loud whistling all around the stadium. Monroe's throw. Here's Trevor Stephen. Monroe playing it in low. There's Ian Ferguson. Not a bad effort on the turn by Ian Ferguson. Played in low this time by Monroe. There was Ferguson. White going to meet him.
We may just have seen Rangers' last chance there, Jock. But although it's not been a brilliant footballing cup tie, it's been tremendously hard fought. There's been no quarter-ass nor given. Not a lot of goal-mouth incidents, Jock, but Celtic have taken advantage of the one they had, certainly.
Could have been Neil there, indicating to his players the 90 minutes are over. But they'll still be looking for total concentration until the injury time is completed. Up goes Butcher. There's Mike Galloway. The offside decision against Andy Walker. And I can tell you that the Man of the Match award this afternoon has been given to Paul Elliott, the Celtic centre-half, and I could have no quibble with that. Here's John Brown playing the free kick to Monroe. The ball lumped into the box there. Elliott gets to it, as he has done so often for Celtic. Careless one by McStay. There's Peter Grant going in. Ball spinning away there. Dodds keeps it in for Monroe, but the whistle has gone for a Celtic free kick. Well, it looks as though the Rangers Scottish Cup hoodoo under Graham Souness continues. Celtic season remains alive, it would appear, if they can hang on now in these closing few seconds. There's Jakinowski down to Miller, taking the ball to the corner flag. I reckon he will not play this in. He'll keep it at the corner flag. Invite John Brown to play it out. Here's Monroe. We've had more than 2 minutes of additional time played. Derek White cutting across, and Pat Bonner telling his defenders he's in charge. Pat Bonner a little bit intimidated there with that little pat on the head of Ian Ferguson. That sort of gesture might cause trouble. Bonner, the mildest of men. That long kick out, giving the throw to Rangers. All eyes now on the referee, Billy McNeil, anxious about the time being added on. We've had 3 minutes additional time. There certainly have been some stoppages and some time wasting. But there goes the final whistle. Celtic have won. Rangers are out of the Scottish Cup. Tommy Coyne scored the goal just on half-time, which has resulted in these scenes of jubilation at Celtic Park. The Celtic players have been in a lot of trouble, and Hazelhaven has Billy McNeil.
Billy McNeil, it's Rob McLean actually, the goal that keeps Celtic's season alive and the game that keeps Celtic's season alive.
Yes, I think it was a game we were entitled to win, Rob. We wanted to win it, but equally we wanted to play well. We did play well, and when we were against the cost in the second half, we never looked at losing a goal. I'm delighted for the boys because this victory is down to them. They wanted this victory, they've got it. I hope it's a good night for them.
They responded terrifically well, and it was a terrific team performance.
It was a superb team performance. You can see the frustration that Rangers feel just at this particular minute, but we're delighted. They can say what they want. We were the better side on the day, and I think we're entitled to win.
Paul Elliott is man of the match. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely magnificent. Paul's obviously he's had his critique at different times, but I felt he was superb today amongst a team full of superb players.
Billy, thanks very much. Thank you.
So there's the scene, the Celtic supporters celebrating. They've won this afternoon's fourth round Scottish Cup tie by 1-0. Don't go away, we'll be right back.
Park. Jack Charlton, Celtic, were they winners, do you think, today?
I think they had the best of the second half. I thought Rangers would have been unlucky to be a goal down at half-time. But the second half, certainly Celtic pushed on, and maybe that was because Rangers had to push a few. Well, they threw another man on up front, left him a bit thin across midfield, and Celtic got at them on the break, and maybe could have scored again.
You were saying towards the end to me, Jack, that Celtic were giving away. They were playing a bit naively. They were giving the ball away when they should have been holding on to it.
Last 5 or 6 minutes, I couldn't believe it. I mean, Chris Morris is playing ball short into people's feet that are coming off and getting them. I mean, the butcher tackle, he invited his player to get killed. You know, and there were a few times like Paul McStay on the right. He's trying to play balls to wide men instead of knocking the ball in behind him. Once you turn a defence at that stage and you make them go fetch the ball and you chase them, you gain time. And they were trying to play game. They were trying to waste time, which was antagonising the referee. Had they done it in the correct way, I mean, this has been a fault of Celtic for a while. I've seen Celtic do this. I saw them do it in the European Cup tie here when, you know, instead of playing for time, they were trying to score another goal.
And they must have been giving Billy McNeil heart failure.
Oh, heart failure.
You're a manager, you know how that must feel.
That's right. I mean, you give the ball to your goalkeeper who humps the ball up the other end.
Right.
Or you play the ball in behind people and you turn them in and you chase them. If you let them go bring it back, they get an advantage. But, I mean, Rangers in the last minute might have equalised on a ball that was played wide. I think it was Stephen got on the ball, knocked it to his fullback. It wasn't closed down. Ball got played in and somebody whipped it over the top of the bar. I mean, you shouldn't have a chance like that at that stage of the game. The ball should either be in the back of the crowd or right in the other corners where you're having to go fetch it back from.
But preferably in the back of the crowd. Paul Elliott, man of the match, Jack. Now, you said to me that certainly would be your choice of player.
Yeah, I thought Paul Elliott was... The second half was brilliant. I thought he won everything, his attitude and his aggression. He won everything, he cleared everything, he never gave a chancy ball in the game. Packy had very little to do in the goals. What he had to do, he did magnificently. I mean, you could have given him it because he's done everything right.
OK, Jack. Paul Elliott, man of the match, but goal scorer Tommy Coyne, and he is now with Rob McLean.
Tommy Coyne, the goal that saves Celtic's season. How do you feel?
Oh, fantastic. Saves my season as well. First goal for about 3 months.
Yeah, your season's been dodgy at times. You've taken a fair bit of stick, both from the critics and from the fans. You must feel that not just your goal there, but your performance answers some of that.
Look, I'm just pleased to get a goal at the end of the day and get into the next round of the Cup. Fantastic for the boys.
What do you remember of the goal?
Hit the back of the net, that was it.
Which part of your anatomy did it come off?
I think it was my left thigh it came off, but I couldn't care what bit on my body it came off, it went in.
Looking forward to a good cup run and hopefully, obviously for you, Hampden.
Yeah, hopefully a good run in the side now and maybe another few goals before the end of the season.
Tommy, well done.
Thank you.
Tommy Coyne saying there that he scored the goal with his eye.
Well, it was one of those balls that when Chris Woods got a hand to it and it fell, he was sliding in on the ball. Had the ball gone straight across the goals, he'd have probably knocked it in. But you're sort of hanging on, trying to get to a ball, and he was trying to slow up to get it in, and then the ball went in off his leg or off his body or anything. He's quite right. He didn't care how it went in, as long as it went in that direction.
Because of the conditions, Jackie, there were half chances all over the place, and we can see one now. Gary Stevens, I mean, he came pretty close here. Mo Johnson did well. He said this cross was terrific.
Ball across from Johnson, and Gary Stevens came in. He was just obstructed in his approach to the ball, and the ball was very difficult. It was going to bounce in front of him, and he had to get it exactly right. But the ball from Mo Johnson, yeah, it was terrific. I mean, that's exactly, if you're a kid in watching, when you get into that position, never made volleying shots at goals, get him across the face, and it could have been an equaliser.
In the dying moments, Jackie, two terrific saves from Chris Woods. Now, he kept Rangers in it. The first one coming from Mike Galloway. Now, this was a great save.
Well, this is at a time when they were being allowed to settle on the ball, Celtic, and push an extra man forward, and he comes inside and whacks it well. And to be fair, had it been anywhere to the right or left of Chris, it would have gone in.
And he beat it down well, didn't he?
Yeah, well, he hit it and it beat it, and then he got to it right. But he does that a lot, Chris Woods. You know what he was doing. He wasn't a mistake there.
Sure. Celtic could have tied it up towards the end because Jakinowski ran right in on Woods. And obviously, that was the key moment, because if he'd made it 2-0 just in the dying moments,
you see, more balls,
Rangers were finished.
This was a tremendous ball for Jakinowski came in. It's one of those balls that when you hit him firmly, the goalkeeper will expect it to be hit firmly, and his body will take the ball. Jimmy Greaves would have gone and clipped him, or Dennis Law would have gone and just
slipped it over him.
Just instead of going like that, they just clipped it, you know, and it would have gone in the air because the goalkeeper's committed that way. And anything you do in the air, and I thought he would have done it there.
We've already said, Jackie, towards the end, Celtic lived dangerously. Rangers came close. Now, Ian Ferguson, look at this effort. I mean, this was extremely
when he's
close.
knocked back, he's allowed to stand there and knock a ball in, and there's nobody come next to him. I mean, you must mark people in situations like that. Somebody's got the man on the ball, somebody's covering, somebody get the man that can knock it in. If the ball doesn't get played into the box, there's going to be no problem. Once it gets played in the box, that can happen.
Sure.
I mean, that ball went over the top, could have gone the back of the net, and you've got a 1-1
This man has enjoyed this game. We're going to have a break. Rejoin us in just a couple of moments.
I have enjoyed it.
Celtic 1, Rangers 0. Hazel Irvine is with man of the match, Paul Elliott.
Paul, man of the match, congratulations. You really did play a good game, didn't you?
Thanks very much, Naya. As far as I'm concerned, it's a great day for Celtic. It's a great day for the supporters, great day for the directors and everybody concerned. Obviously, on behalf of all the players, I'd like to thank all the supporters, because at the end of the day, everybody knows that we've had a hard time the last 2 months, but they've been magnificent. That's a special result for the supporters at Celtic Football Club.
Everybody knew exactly what was at stake. Exactly what does it mean to you personally now, Paul?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, we've arrived now. As far as I'm concerned, Celtic. A lot of people wrote us off. We've gone out today. We've played some magnificent football. I think we've really showed, that we're obviously, the best side in Scotland. It's important now that we continue, and hopefully the result of today obviously will improve our league form.
Paul, thanks.
Pleasure.
Played a good game, did Paul Elliott. In England today, Coventry City went into their second leg at Littlewoods Cup semi-final match, trailing Nottingham Forest by 2-1. So let's join the action with